Hello! So, for today's 5-minute Astro Chat, by the way, before we begin, I wanted to say to feel free to leave any kind of requests that you'd like to see covered in the 5-minute Astro Chat. My goal is to do this every day or every other day, and the more energy that's put into it, the more requests for me to kind of brainstorm and feel out and think over, the more I'm going to do. So feel free to go ahead and do that. Either on this video, actually yeah, just on the latest video, that would be good, just to keep the ball rolling, moving forward, momentum, because as always I'm getting the YouTube comments and I really like to see what people are thinking about, feeling about, what they wish for, and etc. Okay, so this is where it officially begins. So the 5-minute Astro Chat for today is about, it's a kind of reflection on the importance of being advanced socially, which includes basically how we treat each other in general, whether politically, economically, and of course socially, conversationally, etc. As advanced as we are technologically in comparison to our past, the future holds such huge developments that we can't even fathom as of right now. Some ideas thrown out there are being able to fix our biological degradation process, also known as aging, dying of old age and whatnot, so that we're able to live indefinitely. Obviously that's an extreme, or at least to prolong our lifespan and especially prolong our healthy years. Further, to the idea of a supercomputer where all of our minds are linked up. It's like the internet, but instead of looking at a phone or a computer, we're looking, it's not even so much that we're looking, again, that's an idea of the five senses, where we're coming from as per before that paradigm. We're shifting that paradigm. This is an idea technologically for the future, is we're going to be so connected that our thoughts can travel at lightning speed. And as much as that might seem like a mind-boggling thing or maybe even an impossible thing, we have to keep in mind that what we are experiencing right here, right now, was mind-boggling for those even 20 years ago, 15 years ago, let alone 100 years ago, or 300, 500, 1,000, 2,000. And a quick note on that, it's interesting to note that recordable human history only goes back, I don't know the exact dates, but 2000 BCE, something like that. And even then, that's not like we have rich annals of understanding and knowledge that's been passed on. There have been wars and destruction. It's been difficult to hold on to that, to seize human wisdom where it cropped up in ancient Greece or ancient China, ancient India, ancient Babylonia, Mesopotamia. Regardless, we are a very new species in so many ways. We are our recordable human history, and also
Bluetooth disconnected.
Ignore that. And
Bluetooth
how
connected.
we treat each other in general is. Apologize for that.
Power off.
I'm not going to count that in the 5 minutes either. We're a bold human experiment. We're a bold experiment in general, in consciousness, in species. And as much as we might lament humanity and be frustrated with humanity, it's also beautiful how we're able to move forward, how we are moving forward, and how we're still here. That's the best news of all. Some people say, oh, we're just going to blow ourselves up with nuclear war, we're going to do this or that. Well, we haven't yet, and we're still continuing to thrive. Well, to survive at least. Thriving is relative, subjective analysis, and in many ways we're not thriving. So the point of this 5-minute video, now that we've covered the last human history, at least in one respect, is to focus on the importance of matching that technological advancement with our social advancement. What that means is, and our psychological advancement, our conscious advancement, of not only being able to have the newest gadgets, but to understand how and why we should use them, how to treat each other, so that, yes, we have these bombs, the nuclear bombs that we can blow out incredible power, but more importantly, how are we going to use them, or rather not use them, and be able to interact with each other? And of course, as y'all know, I find astrology is the most useful system of thought out there. Now, I'm impartial. I just want the truth. I want whatever functions. I just want to be able to talk about something that influences everybody in a positive sense. And astrology is definitely that sense. And I think even to understand that concept in the first place, that our psyches, our biological, our physiology, everything about our lives are influenced, now not controlled, but influenced by the different, I don't know if it's a compositional thing of the different planets and our astronomical bodies like the sun, the moon, etc., or is it gravitational, electromagnetic? Who knows what it is exactly? And I'd love for that to be studied in the future. That'd be amazing. And I really feel that that's part of what humanity needs to advance with, is the understanding of ourselves. As much as we are expanding out into space, and we always will be, I mean, hopefully, as long as our means continue to grow, and we do so in an ethical manner, we're not just out there destroying other civilizations. It's about continuing to grow human culture, as well as human technological advancement and capability, as well as human strength. We need to know human wisdom, and we need to be able to have a heart as well as a mind. And so that's a lot easier said than done. It requires studies, it requires practice, it requires trial and error, it requires a lot of work that's rather intangible, rather instead of a technological, something that you can hold, something that you can measure, something that you can see. You can still measure these things, but we're talking about the human psyche here. So going into the future, and I would love to hear what you have to think or say. Like, what do you see in the future as per human interactivity? What's important, what's necessary for humanity to continue to grow, in addition to, or, whether it's the technological side of things, the social side of things, whatever it is. What do you see as how we're going to advance? That'd be really interesting, and we might even bring that up as the comments for a future 5-minute AstroChat video. But regardless, my point today with this video is it's really essential that as we move forward out into space, as we continue to grow here on this planet, as time goes on, we need to really be understanding how to treat ourselves, how to treat other people. And how we understand how to treat ourselves and other people is knowing ourselves and other people. And a key ingredient to knowing ourselves and other people is astrology. Being able to understand the different psychological impacts of the different astronomical bodies in our solar system. And as per other branches of astrological thought, which I'm not quite the best spokesperson for, because I don't really study that as much. I study more tropical, our solar system, but it's of course, room for truth is always there. How the other stars and constellations, etc., impact us. But regardless, just that concept of us being psychologically impacted by our environment, the mass environment of the solar system, and whether we're in this solar system or a future solar system, being able to understand and pinpoint astronomically, okay, we're living on this habitable planet from this region of space, rather that angle denoting that region of space. But how does that impact us psychologically? We need to understand ourselves to be able to understand our external environment, and to be able to continue to grow and to thrive and not just survive. I mean, survival in and of itself is essential as per being able to thrive, but then taking it one step further, thriving. So that's the thought for this. Again, just being able to treat ourselves well, to not kill each other with nuclear bombs, and to also understand what our true motives are in life in general, whether on this planet, on another planet, in another solar system, another galaxy, etc. That's always going to be something that's essential for conscious life to ponder, to master. And that's just as essential if we're going to survive and thrive as any kind of technological advancement. And of course, that ekes into economically, how do we treat each other? How do we have a fair, equitable system that everybody can be able to put forth energy, get energy back, that is fairly fair in its compensation, politically being represented, socially, how do we treat each other right, etc. There's so much more we can talk about for this, and I know this is kind of like a 7-minute video, AstroChat, but whatever. In any case, infinite love to you, my friend, and namaste.